Hello, hello, hello. What's up, people? It's Thursday. Whitman-Walker Live on Thursday. Hope everybody's doing well. The weekend's coming right around the corner. It's Friday Eve. Thank you for joining. Come on in. We're going to be talking with Whitman-Walker today. We got Brendan in here, so let me add him. What's up? What's up? They're my little baby girls. Hi, ladies. My nieces. Hello, Brendan. How are you?
I'm good, Orlando. How are you doing today?
Oh, happy Thursday. I'm doing.
Oh, happy Thursday. Was it a long day?
I had to go into the office because someone had to quarantine. So, like, last minute, they were like, we need you to come in this whole week. And I'm like, oh, I'm not used to that. I'm still used to, like, waking up and logging in 5 minutes before. So, like, I have to get up. And I'm dog sitting this week. So, it's like a whole, like, process. I got to come home for lunch. I'm like, back and forth.
It's like the old days. Like you have
I
to go to
know, right?
bed, but you
I
have a
wish.
dog now. Wow.
Yeah. And how was your day?
It was good. It was much like you're used to, where I woke up 5 minutes before and I was like, all
Yeah.
right, we're in bed, we're doing this. So I totally get that lifestyle. There are a lot of perks.
Yeah. Well, we're here. Thank you. This is our first live together, right? You've always been in my life, but kind of just there.
I don't think we've done one together yet. So this is exciting for me.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Well, I already pinned our information.
Sweet.
Um, we are good. Let me see. For those of you that don't know, I'm Orlando Machuca. I'm one of the Whitman-Walker influencers. It's been just about a year since we started doing social media, things. My pronouns are he, him, and his. Uh,
And my name is Brendan. Orlando predates me. I started working at Whitman-Walker in August, and I've been helping out with social media stuff. I'm an employee of Whitman-Walker. My pronouns are he, him, his as well.
Perfect, perfect. So for those of you that know, we do Thursday lives with me, and we do lives all during the week. So make sure you follow Whitman-Walker for our other Instagram influencers, talking about different topics. So today we're going to be talking about the three most commonly reported STIs: gonorrhea, chlamydia, and syphilis. So stay tuned.
Yeah, so these diseases might sound intimidating. I'm sure you've heard of them before, but the good news is that all the ones we're going to talk about today are very treatable. They are just bacterial infections, and you can get them treated with antibiotics. So if you get tested, as we recommend you do, and you discover that you have one of these, you just take some medication or get a shot, totally gone.
Good, nice to hear. Which brings us to Whitman-Walker's free HIV STI testing and counseling services. We'll test you for gonorrhea, chlamydia, and syphilis. And if you do test positive, we can easily get you on treatment. Just call the number 202-797-4439. If you want to schedule an appointment, we are not taking walk-ins right now. So make sure you call or email.
So let's jump into the content. I think we're going to start out by talking with the most commonly reported STI in the US. Can our viewers guess which one that is?
We're going to give you guys like 10 seconds, all right? Let's see who can guess. We're on a 12-second delay, so we should probably wait a little longer before we. Oh, that's silly. Let's see. So we paused for a second. So every time we ask a question, make sure, we're giving you guys a chance to answer. So if you can, try to be quick with those fingers, as quick as you like texting your friends back. Text us back, people.
And if no one answers us, Orlando, do you want to go ahead and guess which STI is the most commonly reported in the US?
Guess, let's see. Chlamydia?
The answer is chlamydia, yes.
Okay.
The CDC estimates that nearly 3 million new infections of chlamydia occur in the United States every year. And 2/3 of those infections are among young people aged 15 to 24. So the distribution of the disease reveals some disparities. It's nearly 6 times more prevalent among Black folks than white folks. And it's also very common among men who have sex with men, or MSM, as we call them.
So men who have sex with men is called
MSM, yeah.
Okay, so that's a good thing to know, guys. If you didn't know what MSM means, It's men who have sex with men. So now, Brendan, how do you think you can get chlamydia?
Well, it's a sexually transmitted disease. So, Orlando, I feel like that means you can get it through pretty much any sexual contact. Is that right?
Yes. So that's right. The bacteria lives in the penis, vagina, front hole, mouth, or anus, and they get passed on when you make contact with sexual contact with one of those areas of an infected partner. Additionally, chlamydia can get passed from a mother to child during childbirth. That all means that any sexual active person can get chlamydia, even if you've already had it before.
And Orlando, is it true that you might not know if you have it?
Well, I don't know. What do our viewers think? Do you always know when you have chlamydia, people? Anyone in there? No? Think they know?
Well, I feel like I usually know when I have an infection, like strep or something. So I don't know why it would be different from chlamydia. Anyone in the comments want to join in? Orlando, do you have any ideas?
Well, let's see. I'm going to surprise you. It is different. Chlamydia is often called the silent infection because most people who are asymptomatic, as few as 10% of men and 5% of women, show symptoms which can include urethral or rectal discharge, painful urination, pain and discomfort in the abdomen, pelvis, scrotum, and rectum, and bleeding in the rectum and the vagina front hole. So that's why it's very important to get tested. If you have chlamydia, you probably don't know.
Wow. Okay, that's really good to know. And I think we've already said it, but if you test positive for chlamydia, it's really easy to treat it with antibiotics. So it just kind of makes sense to me to get tested and then treated if necessary, even if you don't think you have any symptoms. What happens if you don't get treated though, Orlando?
So untreated chlamydia can cause serious and permanent health problems like pelvic inflammatory disease, ectopic pregnancy, infertility, and reactive arthritis. Having
Wow.
chlamydia also increases your chance of acquiring and transmitting HIV.
Okay, so I feel like if you're sexually active, you should definitely get tested. You can do so many things to prevent against chlamydia as well, like using condoms correctly, um, talking with your sex partners about their status, um, consider having a long-term monogamous relationship with a partner who's been tested or choosing not to have sex at all. Um, and I feel like you can get tested. What was that number again, Orlando?
703, I'm sorry, 703. I'm a Virginia boy. 202-797-4439.
Okay, cool. I feel like that kind of covers chlamydia. Do you think we can move on to gonorrhea?
Um, let's see. Wait, I think also make sure that you're preventing against getting chlamydia. You can do so many things like use condoms correctly, talk with your. Oh, you said that. Wait, why is that? So yes, we can move on to. Let's make sure no one's asking any questions now. Let's see. No, I think we're good. Just Whitman-Walker. So yeah. Let's move on.
Sweet. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, gonorrhea, also called the clap, it has a lot in common with chlamydia, and I'm just gonna run through some similarities right now. So they're both common bacterial infections. Gonorrhea is a little less common, so there's only like an estimated of 1 million new infections in the U.S. every year, compared to 3 million with chlamydia. Half of all gonorrhea infections occur in young people, ages 15 to 24. You can get gonorrhea by having any sexual contact, so like anal, oral, vaginal front hole sex, or through childbirth, like chlamydia. Gonorrhea is often asymptomatic, though people with gonorrhea experience symptoms a little bit more often than with chlamydia. But again, like you often will not know if you have gonorrhea. And those symptoms are really similar, like Orlando talked about earlier. It's urethral discharge, rectal discharge, painful urination, pain in the pelvis area, maybe some bleeding in the rectum or from the vagina. And like chlamydia, you can cure gonorrhea really easily. If you don't, you might experience pelvic inflammatory disease, infertility, or ectopic pregnancy. And you don't want to experience those. So make sure you're getting tested and then treated if you have it, especially because you might not know you have it. even better than like if you end up getting gonorrhea, really great. You can prevent against it super easily by using condoms correctly, talking with your sex partners about their status. Consider having a long-term mutually monogamous relationship with a partner who's been tested, or choosing not to have sex at all. I ran through that super quickly just because it's really similar to chlamydia. Any questions, Orlando, or any viewers?
Let's see. So no, that kind of makes sense. I feel like gonorrhea and chlamydia are really, really similar, except that gonorrhea is a little less common and you're a little more likely to have symptoms with gonorrhea.
Yeah, that like pretty much sums it up. And again, sometimes, even though symptoms for gonorrhea and chlamydia overlap, you can't tell the difference between them, or you might not have them at all. So it's really important that you get tested to determine if you have an STI and which STI that is. So again, the number is 202-797-4439.
Okay, so any questions from our viewers? Let's see. You guys are real quiet, guys. Don't be shy. This is your time to ask questions. You know, you can even DM us privately to Whitman-Walker, or even us, and we'll get you in touch with someone at Whitman-Walker if you're shy or you just don't want to ask questions. These are the times to get informed, people. You want to be informed because, you know, you never know, right?
Yeah. So if there are no questions, I think we can move on to our last STI. We've done chlamydia, we've done gonorrhea. Let's talk now about syphilis, Orlando.
All right, so syphilis. So we did these three diseases in one live for a reason, and they're all very similar. Syphilis is relatively common. Around 115,000 were reported in the United States cases last year. The majority of those coming from MSM. For those of you who just joined, men who have sex with men, you can get syphilis from sexual contact or from childbirth. However, through syphilis can sometimes go unnoticed. It has a different set of symptoms from gonorrhea and chlamydia.
Syphilis is sometimes called the Great Pretender. I have only heard that once or twice, but it's like gonorrhea is the clap, like syphilis, the Great Pretender. They call it that because it has a wide range of symptoms that might look like a lot of other diseases. So someone with syphilis is going to experience these symptoms in 4 distinct stages.
Okay, so the first 3 to 6 weeks after infection, called the primary stage, one or more firm round sores called chancres will appear. Is that the right word? Chancres?
Yeah, chancres are...
Okay, perfect. Whenever the syphilis enters your body. So in around the genitals, the mouth, or the rectum, these chancres can be really small and unnoticed, especially if they're internal, or they can be bigger. They will last for a few weeks and heal even without getting treatment. But if you don't get treatment, you go to the secondary stage of the disease. Oh, I think we froze up. Brandon, are you frozen? We'll give him a little second. There we go. I think you're moving again. Can you hear me? So guys, we're just talking about a couple STIs with Whitman-Walker. So if you're in here, give us a little second. There we go.
You back on, Orlando?
There you go.
I'm not sure if that was me or you, but I saw it pause for a minute.
Yeah, same here. It looked like you paused. Did you hear me finishing about the secondary stage?
Yeah, I did. So, did you talk about the secondary stage already?
No, that's your part.
Okay, cool. So you then go to the secondary stage of syphilis. In that stage, skin rashes and mucous membranes lesions appear. You also are going to experience fever, sore throat, fatigue, or other symptoms that look a lot like a flu-like illness. So you probably won't know that it's syphilis directly. And these symptoms will go away for a few weeks, even without treatment. But again, if you don't get treatment, you go on to the next 2 phases, the latent and the tertiary stages.
Oh, so the latent stage can last for years. You experience no symptoms at all. Finally, if you still haven't gotten treatment after having the disease for a few years, you move on to the tertiary stage of the disease, where the syphilis bacteria can cause damage to major organs like your brain, nerves, eyes, heart, liver, blood vessels, bones, and joints. It can even be fatal, as to any point in the infection, even in the primary or secondary stages, you can experience damage to the brain, and eyes that can cause permanent dementia, paralysis, and blindness. Sheesh.
Sorry, you cut out a little bit there for me. So, fun fact, a lot of famous people have died of syphilis, including the gangster Al Capone, ragtime pianist Scott Joplin, classical composer Franz Schubert, artist Paul Gauguin and Edward Manet, philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche, and author Oscar Wilde. A lot of people throughout history have not, these are just people who have died of syphilis. A lot more people, like Christopher Columbus, have gotten syphilis. So, very,
Wow.
very common.
We could pretty much say probably because they were uninformed, huh?
Yeah, I think a lot of people died of syphilis because like there was no treatment back then. And so like they went on to the tertiary stage and like they died of blindness, paralysis, like all that. And it's great
Wow.
right now that we have like treatment. So
Right. And also, syphilis and HIV have a number of connections. Syphilitic chancres make transmitting and acquiring HIV easier, and scientists estimate that 2 to 5-fold increased risk of acquiring HIV if exposed when syphilis is also present. Last year, around half of MSM with primary and secondary syphilis also were living with HIV. Oh, I think we paused again. Can you hear me? I see you moving. I just can't hear you. Mm-mm. Guys, we're just talking about some STIs with Whitman-Walker here with Brendan. So give us a little second. It looks like we're frozen up. So hopefully it's not both of us. Well, let me see. Well, can you guys hear me? Or am I frozen as well? If you can hear me, give me a thumbs up. Just to make sure we're both not frozen. I see you moving, Brendan. Can you hear me?
are you still
Hello,
there?
hello. Yes, I am. There you
Hey,
go. It was giving you a little.
I was seeing a little
I
circle
hear
for
you now.
you too. I'm not sure what's happening, but
That's
all
super
right.
weird because okay, everyone says they can hear me, so they can hear you now. Okay, I think we're good.
There's probably yeah.
So we're at the we don't want to scare you too badly part.
Yeah, we definitely don't want to scare you guys too badly. Especially with fatal syphilis. Most of the deaths we talked about occurred because we didn't have treatment back then. But a lot of people will still go on to have that like tertiary and fatal syphilis if they don't get tested and treated.
Okay. Like every disease we talk about today, treatment is super easy. You come in, you get antibiotics, and you're all set.
And it's even easier to prevent against syphilis by doing the same things we've been talking about throughout this live. So, using condoms correctly, talking with your sex partners about their status, having a long term mutually monogamous relationship with a partner who's been tested, or choosing not to have sex at all. So, we did a lot of material today. Are there any questions in the chat?
No questions. No questions. All right. Well, I mean, you can still ask questions. If you miss it here, the live is going to be on the page, Whitman-Walker. Feel free to write a message to Whitman-Walker or any of us, and we'll get you in touch to get those questions answered if we can't do them right away. But in closing, please get routinely tested for STIs. If you're sexually active, you don't always know what you have when you have an STI, and you want to protect you and your partner's health.
Whitman-Walker is here to support you in that process too. You can call us at the number below, 202-797-4439. If you want to get tested for HIV STIs, you can also call that number if you think you have symptoms or an exposure, and we would be happy to help you out, talk to you about your options.
Perfect. This is also a reminder that COVID-19 is still very much around. Right now, over 150,000 people were hospitalized with COVID, and the death toll is nearly 400,000. It is up to us to slow the spread of the virus. Remember to wear your mask, social distance, wash your hands, stay home, especially if you're feeling sick. And we encourage others to do the same. Can you hear me, Brendan? I think you froze up again.
Hey, I'm back. Sorry. I'm not sure what's
Okay.
happening. Sorry for
There
all the
we go.
connectivity issues, but last thing I'll say
No
is
worries.
if you want to check out more videos like this one, please follow our Instagram at Whitman-Walker, our Twitter at Whitman-Walker, or our Facebook, Whitman-Walker Health. And thank you so much for joining us, and thanks, Orlando, for going live with me.
Thank you so much. We'll see you soon. You guys have a great weekend, and we'll talk soon. Take care.
Bye.